Hello and welcome back. In this lesson, we're going to redeploy our EC2 instance and finally see if everything works. So hopefully, when we redeploy this instance, this provisioner is going to run, add the information required to our configuration file, and allow us to SSH into the instance without any issues. So let's go ahead and give it a shot. So first up, once again, I'm just going to run that Terraform plan. And as you can see, no changes, which means that this provisioner is not going to run because Terraform hasn't detected anything different. Once again, it does not detect provisioners as differences in the state, so it's not going to trigger a run. So let's go ahead and take a look at a way that we can trigger that run. First up, I'm just going to run a Terraform state list again. And of course, we've got our AWS instance.dev node. Go ahead and highlight that and copy it. And then what we want to do is use a new command we haven't used, or at least a new flag. We've used Terraform apply a lot, but now what we're going to use is a -replace. Now this used to be known as Terraform taint, which would actually cause a resource to be replaced on the next run. But now instead, we just use -replace. I'll go ahead and paste in this instance.dev node here, and let's hit enter. All right, as you can see, we are refreshing the state. Okay, now we've got one to destroy and one to add. So it is removing and replacing our instance. And once that happens, it should run our local exec, replacing the content in our config file with what we need, and allowing us to SSH into our instance from VS Code. So let's go ahead and type yes and pause this video. Come on back whenever it's done. Of course, you might want to hop into the EC2 console. And once the instance shows up, is running, and has 2 of 2 complete and green, go ahead and come on back and we'll see if everything worked. All right, all of my checks are passed here. Let's go ahead and bring our editor back over. And this is now the moment of truth. First things first, I'm just going to cat my SSH config file. And this is a really good sign. Look at that. It looks like our provisioner did exactly what we asked it to. It added the IP address, the host name, our user, and the identity file to our config file. So now that that's happened, let's head up to View, Command Palette, and let's just type in SSH right here. And as you can see, remote SSH, connect to host. Let's click on that. And hey, check that out. So we've already got our IP address ready to go. Let's click on it. Opens a new window. This is a Linux host. Again, we're on a Windows terminal, or I am, but it's a Linux host. So choose Linux here. Yes, we are sure we'd like to continue. Looks like everything is setting up, downloading, installing VS Code Server. All right, let's open a terminal. New terminal. Bam, check that out. And if we run Docker, Docker is nice and installed. Once again, we can do a docker -- version. So now we have a perfectly good development environment ready to go. You can open up folders on the remote. Once again, Home Ubuntu is a remote folder. So if I run that, I am now in a fully remote terminal. Go ahead, I can hit trust these authors. Bam, perfect. So this is really, really cool. All right, so looks like everything is working perfectly. Go ahead and mark this lesson complete. Come on back to the next one and let's continue the course.